Okay, so continuing on with how my plan is what's best for students. It's going to begin with a shared vision. You have to have a roadmap. You have to have an idea. You have to have a plan for what you're going to do or what you want to achieve in order to have any meaningful success or anything meaningful happen with this group. Also, it supports collaboration between the schools and the community. Two-way street. The school cannot just dictate to the community, hey, here's what we need, you guys need to make it happen. The communities cannot just dictate to the schools, hey, here's what we need to happen. And both sides, it needs to be a give and take, and both sides need to work together, and they need to collaborate in all things, whether that's the curriculum, whether that's the instruction, whether it's what's going on with the sports, what's going on in the actual physical school, in the facilities, whether they need a new baseball field or whatever the case may be. The schools and the community have to work together, and my plan supports that by continuing this meeting, continuing the group, and using the people that are there to make it grow, to spread the word, to bring people in, and kind of hit our third point here, to give those community stakeholders a voice in their school. The community knows what is needed outside of the classroom. I use that phrase a lot, outside of the classroom. A lot of times in education, many of the people who are in charge of it have only been in education. They haven't worked, down at the steel mill. They haven't worked, out driving a truck. They haven't worked, food service jobs unless it was in college 30 years ago. So they don't know the skills. They don't know the abilities. They don't know the needs of businesses, of our community for that life past the classroom, outside the classroom. My fourth point here, my plan encourages that collaborative relationship between, I put it in there, school and home. I really mean teachers and parents. When teachers and parents can see each other outside of that academic setting, when they can see each other, sitting down for dinner at a restaurant, when they can see each other out at a football game or whatever the case may be, it just helps to strengthen that relationship. And it also makes when those calls need to be made home, or when the calls from home need to be made to school, there's not that apprehension about it. That makes it more of a team of working together. Hey, we're going to work together for this kid. We're going to work together for these 30 or these 300 kids, whatever the case is, however many of them there are. By seeing each other outside of that rigid, I'm the teacher, you're the parent structure, where we're, hey, we're in a PTA, hey, we're in a booster club together, hey, we're in, the community outreach for, the technological innovation or something, whatever the name of this group ends up being, whatever its purpose ends up being. It allows for that relationship to start building between the parents and the school and the staff members for the help of those kids, for the support of those kids. And it gives leadership opportunities for staff members, for parents within this group. When you have a leadership, even if it's over, just a small little subgroup, even if it's over one tiny little project, it makes you have more buy-in. And with the parents having buy-in to this group, then it, filters down into the school. Well, now they have buy-in to the school, so now they have, they're more willing to, help with homework at night. They're more willing even just to say, hey, honey, how was your day at school today? There's been all kinds of studies that just asking your kid what they did at school, it already boosts their grades it was something like 15%. By just asking them if they had fun at school, what happened at school, and then when you start knowing the teacher's names, oh, is Miss So-and-so still there? Oh, is Mr. So-and-so, is he still coaching baseball? Like, whatever the case is, it builds that community. And by having that community, it shows the students that they have that support behind them throughout their education. Also, it's going to use digital age tools to drive systemic improvement. We are in a globalized world. We are in a digital age. We need to incorporate technology because it's all around us. We need to model that for our kids. We have to practice what we preach. And in our classrooms, we say, hey, you need to use all these tools, and here's this, check out this website, look at this great program. but our kids don't see it used past that. They don't see it used for non-academic purposes. And this is a great opportunity for that. If they, see their parents using GroupMe to, work on, the Breakfast with Santa that's coming up in 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be. If they see the meeting being broadcast on Facebook, if they see it, the parents watching it on, YouTube, whatever the case may be, when they're seeing technology used for, work, they're seeing it used to create. They're seeing it used in the real world, other than, hey, let's go watch, so-and-so play Fortnite, or let's go, watch this video game or this music video or whatever. They're seeing it for non-entertainment purposes. And our kids, at least my kids at school, really struggle with seeing the value of these programs outside of academic uses. So what I'm thinking, feeling, valuing as I'm going through this, I kind of lumped these all together because I had a lot of emotions going through this. It was very upsetting to me, the amount of unwillingness and I hope it wasn't incompetence, but that makes it more malicious almost. So I don't know. I felt very uneasy with this case study. So in that, I felt that the principal, he was unwilling. He didn't want to have the input of the community. He wanted to, kind of control his building, and definitely didn't value Mrs. Rose or her opinions that much. I don't believe. Kind of as, hey, you're a newbie, you don't know anything, like, that's just how this school works. That was very off-putting for me. And within that, I really feel that his mind needs to be changed. If this is going to work, if it's going to happen, Ms. Rose is going to have to step up to the plate, and she's going to have to, throw some hard facts, throw some data. She might need to go digging in the district archives to figure out, why did the PTA, disband? How effective was it before? And kind of figure out what's been the history of it within the district and within her building. And she's also going to need to look at other examples. She's going to need to talk to other districts, talk to other principals, kind of see how they're doing things when they're being, what's being successful with their kids. And when she's looking for those other examples, if she's at a low SES school, she doesn't need to be going out to the most affluent districts saying, oh, hey, how do you guys do things? She needs to find another school with a similar demographic, and figure out how are they being successful. We can't paint students with a broad brush, and we can't do the same thing to our communities. Everybody, we are all individuals. So when we try to, kind of say, oh, well, they do it, this is how they do it over there, let's just copy and paste that over to our building. It might work, but it's always going to be better if we tweak it and change it just a little bit to fit our specific needs. Also, all parents want their kids to be successful. I don't care who you are. You want your kids to do well. Nobody wants to sabotage their kids. Everybody is always willing to support their kids when they're able. They're always wanting to be there for them and to help their kids do well. So when the principal is saying, oh, nobody cares, nobody wants anything, I don't buy that. That's just in my heart. I cannot believe that anybody, any parents ever feel that way. And then the last part here, what I was valuing, we need to value our families. We need to value their input. They know their kids. They know them outside. We see them a lot, but we see them in an academic setting. Just talking about my own kids at school, they're very much rule followers and they're very quiet. However, at home they run around like crazy people, and they're complete opposites. So when my kids' teachers, see her outside of school, it's eye-opening for them, to say the least. Or when, they had grandparents' day or things like that, my family goes up, then, my family's seeing my kids and they're like, oh, like, you're being quiet. Like, is everything okay? So our families know our kids or their kids best. They know their personalities better because they've been with them their whole lives. They've seen them grow. They know their background better than anybody else. So we need to be respectful of that, and we really need to value their input on their kids. Things that are unresolved. Why didn't parents show up? Okay, why didn't they come to that first meeting? Was it the message was unclear? Were they unable? What was going on? Were they just discouraged from coming? What was going on? Keep coming back to the second point. Why doesn't the principal not want a PTO? What's his deal? Why does he not want this to happen? Third, what communication works best with our families? I talked about reaching out to different schools, reaching out to the district, see if they got a PR department, something like that, to figure out what works in our building with our families to make this happen. Then our fourth point, which I think is kind of one of our most important parts, is what is our goal? What is this group? This special meeting on parent involvement? Ridiculous. We need to know, is this a PTO? Is this a booster club? Is this a, let's get together and make puppies for blind children or something? Whatever this is, we need to figure out what this group is. What is its goal? What is its purpose? And we need to, have that down in writing. How do I work with the families? Finding the best way to communicate with the families. Conducting that informal needs assessment, figuring out what they need from us, what we can do as servants to our community. Encouraging further, more in-depth participation, continuing these meetings, requesting parent help, requesting involvement, just flat out inviting them to the building, welcoming them. And then our fourth part, increasing the involvement. What that leads to is going to be higher attendance, higher grades, higher graduation rate, and it just gives us as a school building a larger pool of resources to pull from for our overall improvement. Well-being of every student. Parents get a voice. They know the kids best, so they need to have a say in their education and in their school. Community. We are servants of the community. The community needs to have a say in what their community needs. They know what abilities are, their students have, what skills they're going to need for life outside of the classroom. And then third point, when parents and staff get together, it shows the support for the students. It shows the kids that they're loved, that they're cared for, and that that we're all here to help them. Promoting engagement, multiple methods of communication, media blast, however we can get it out there, we're going to spread that word. The meeting can be viewed online, participated in through a text chat down at the bottom or whatever, and allowing the parents to have ownership and have those leadership positions, kind of turning it over to them, allowing them to make it what they want it to be. And then community members needs being communicated, being brought to the school and addressed within those kind of debrief meetings with the staff. Getting together, hey, here's what our community needs from us. Here's what they said they could provide to meet some of our needs that we've kind of brought to them. Kind of how can we help them? How can we be servants for our community? So that's the end of my presentation. Again, I don't know. I felt very off-put by this case study, and I don't know. I could see a lot of similarities between this and my own school. So it definitely was eye-opening for me. Again, as always, I apologize for it being so long. Sometimes it just takes me a little bit longer to say some things. So apologize for that. Hopefully it was good information. Hopefully you got something from it. And thank you for watching.